I do not believe this word means what you think it means. I don't think Trump understands the definition of winning. Because I got to admit, whatever Trump is currently doing, I am completely and utterly exhausted of that. Right? We were told it's winning. We were told we were going to be winning so much. We were going to get tired of winning. And so here's the thing. I am tired of this horse shit. It's just within my vocabulary, this is not what would be considered winning. So anyways, we have the continuing disaster of the United States losing yet another war. Losing the war in Iran. Only America could drop $200 billion in munitions and just completely and utterly lose the war in about 5 weeks. It is frustrating with this, because again, I get the MAGA people out there. Eli, how can you say we lost the war? It's like, because I saw Afghanistan, because I saw Iraq, because my parents saw Vietnam. Here's one of the things I want you to think about with us losing this war, is just how little Americans care about this war. Again, this is an important thing to think about. Like, because I was reading that book on Stalingrad. So the last book I read was on Stalingrad. And the amazing thing about it, right, it was the whole the entire fucking Nazi campaign to conquer Stalingrad. And the funny part is, like, when these motherfuckers start, right, they're starting their conquest to get to Stalingrad. Man, they were so excited and happy. And they were like, yeah, we're gonna own Stalingrad. Oh, and then whatever it was, about 2 years, 18 months, 2 years later, they were literally starving to death and negative 30 degrees temperature. And it just went downhill. And the reason was, one of the big things is, what they talked about, is that the Russians kept fighting back. Like literally, there's like notes from generals and notes from everybody else. They're like, when are the Russians going to stop fighting? Don't the Russians know we won this battle? And the thing was, the Russians didn't know that the Nazis had won that battle. It just took about another year for the Nazis to realize that they hadn't won that battle, right? Because the Nazis were the Russians were fucking pissed. That was just, holy shit. That was just a bad campaign right there. Anyways, why I bring this up with Stalingrad and Russia and all that, I think this is interesting with the United States going against Iran. Because we're told, we won the war. But here's the issue, right? You have all these Iranians, and they're surrounding power. So we were told, right? Trump was going to destroy the Iranian civilization. And the interesting thing is the Iranians kind of went hand in hand and went onto all the bridges, right? It was going to be bridge and power plant day. And so the Iranians were willing to stand on the bridges. They were willing to surround the power plants. Basically so that if bombs fell on the strategically important infrastructure, that we would be slaughtering countless civilians to do that. I mean, think about that. By hook or by crook, that's dedication. Again, look, I'm not Iranian. I'm not exactly sure what the fuck was going on there. I don't know if they were put there by gunpoint or whatever else. But whatever else. The Iranians were willing to stand on their bridges and to stand on their critical infrastructure and willing to die as civilian casualties in order to prove a point to the wider world. Here's the thing. Americans are not willing to pay more than $4 per gallon for our gasoline. Again, I'm not reading between lines here. This isn't like communist propaganda. I'm literally saying Iranians are willing to stand on bridges and die as civilian casualties to prove a point about the war. And Americans are not willing to pay more than $4 per gallon for their gas. I'm just saying, one of these sides is a wee bit more committed to this conflict than the other. That's where I talk about, again, we've lost the war. We lost in Afghanistan. Again, we beat the ever-loving shit out of Afghanistan. Remember when we were dropping Moabs, the mother of all bombs we were dropping on the Taliban, right? We were using artillery on the Taliban. We were using fucking everything on the Taliban. And you know what the Taliban are doing now? They're literally using our military equipment to go to war with Pakistan. Anyways, that's not my politics. Right, but think about this, right? Like, we beat the shit out of like either the poorest nation in the world or literally, truly one of the poorest nations in the world. We went to war with them and those motherfuckers won. Like by any fucking stretch of the imagination, they won. They are driving around in billions of dollars of our military equipment, right? Again, you look at Iraq. We go 10 years in Iraq. We do all that stuff in Iraq. And again, our own politicians say Iran has more control of Iraq after our conquest of Iraq than beforehand. So anyways, again, we are bombing the ever-loving shit out of Iran. And what are we getting for it? Another loss. And what becomes really funny, again, especially on this world with Trump, like, you can't even make this up, man. I'm sorry, The Onion. Today is the day that The Onion newspaper goes bankrupt. Because they simply can't come up with anything more bizarre than reality. Can you imagine the poor editor at The Onion? And all their best parody comedy writers are coming in, writing all these batshit insane headlines. And it's like, oh, yeah, no, that actually happened today. Oh, yeah, no, man, I wish that happened. No, it's actually much worse than that. Pour one out for The Onion. They can't be any more, whatever, creative than this. So yeah, this apparently is real. So this is coming from Business Insider, as I recall, or The Hill. I'm sorry, this is coming from The Hill. Iran demands $1 per barrel of oil passing through Strait of Hormuz, paid in crypto. Cause yeah, it's 2026. You know, I listen to Anderson Horowitz. He says this is the year of crypto. Apparently it's true. Not because of AI, but because of Iran. So I don't know exactly what's going on right now because the Strait of Hormuz may be closed again because God knows. But basically the idea here with Iran is that the Strait of Hormuz was going to be open or is open, who knows. But that anybody going through would have to pay a toll of $1 per barrel of oil in crypto so that it couldn't be shut down by regulatory or sanctions or whatever else. So basically, before the war that Iran lost, they were not making money from all the ships going through the Strait of Hormuz. And after the war that Iran lost, they're going to be making billions and billions and billions of dollars of the ships going through the Strait of Hormuz. I mean, yeah, obviously, that's oh, must suck to be them. Let's see here. Iran will require ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz to pay cryptocurrency equivalent to $1 per barrel of oil on board during the 2-week ceasefire with the U.S. A key figure told the Financial Times. Hamid Hosseini, a spokesperson for Iran's Oil, Gas, and Petrochemical Products Exports Union, which works with Iran's government, told the Financial Times about the requirement on Wednesday. He said that it will cost $1 per barrel of oil and that ships need to email Iranian authorities about what they are carrying. Quote, once the email arrives and Iran completes its assessment, vessels are given a few seconds to pay in Bitcoin, ensuring it can't be traced or confiscated due to sanctions. He added that measures are being put in place to make sure weapons are not carried through the strait. Quote, everything can pass through, but the procedure will take time for each vessel, and Iran is not in a rush. Again, that's the other thing, too, to be thinking about this. Again, we're talking about the world stage. So 10% of the oil has been taken off the world stage. And so again, like there's open, but then like is there open, basically open enough? Like think about going to the grocery store. Think about the grocery store, right? You go to the grocery store and the manager at the grocery store says, you know, the cash registers are open. But it's like right before the Super Bowl or whatever else, and there's 2 cash registers open for just 1,000 people trying to buy food, right? You go into the grocery store some days, and there's one that there's like this weird fucking line, right? Because there's just not enough cash registers are open. Well, here's the thing: the cash registers are in fact open. They're just not open to the degree to actually process as many people as need to get processed. So think about this, again, on the global supply chain scale, is you used to have lots of vessels going through the Strait of Hormuz every day, and now it's open. But does open mean 100 vessels per day, or 20 vessels per day, or 2 vessels per day? 2 vessels per day is still open. It's just not doing what we would all hope for. A senior Iranian official told Reuters that Iran could open the strait in a way that is limited under Iran's control on Thursday or Friday before a meeting with U.S. officials. The Wall Street Journal reported, meanwhile, that Iran was telling mediators that it would both charge tolls and limit the number of ships passing through the strait to about 12 per day. So it's saying here that they're going to try to restrict to 12 per day, which again is not a lot. Trump on Wednesday said he is considering the formation of a, quote, joint venture with Iran to set up tolls in the Strait of Hormuz. See, this is what I'm telling you. I feel so bad for the Onion. Like, you just can't make up bizarre shit anymore. So we go to war with Iran. We destroy the global supply chain for energy. Iran is going to start charging tolls for the Strait of Hormuz. And then Trump's like, hey, that's a good idea. We should do that together. It'd be like, if I slept with like my best friend's, fiance or whatever. And then my best friend was like so distraught over this. He was like, you know what? I just need to get away. I'm just going to go down to Florida and get drunk. And I'm like, hey, that sounds good. Can I come with you? Like, no, you fucked my fiance. Look, I'm doing this to get the fuck away from you. But anyways, Trump does what Trump does, I guess. The art of the deal, or something. Quote, we're thinking of doing it as a joint venture, the president told ABC News. It's a way of securing it, also securing it from lots of other people. It's a beautiful thing. And so, again, you have to think about this on the global stage for our allies. Do we still have allies? Allies! Allies! Any of you still are allies? Oh no, we fucked all your fiancés. Well, we roofied a couple of your fiancés. Yeah, you don't really like us anymore. Where my bros at? Well, you fucked all their fiancés and roofied a couple of their girlfriends. They're not your bros anymore. Anyways, so basically what is going out onto the world stage is that either Iran is going to be charging tolls to go through the Strait of Hormuz, or America is going to be charging tolls going through the Strait of Hormuz, or maybe Iran and America are going to be charging tolls to go through the Strait of Hormuz. Again, to be thinking about this, if you're a business person and you actually have to sign contracts and you actually have to figure out what the fuck is going on in the world, does any of this make you feel better? Again, even if it's U.S., like, that's not good. Even if the U.S. was going to start charging tolls through Hormuz, like, does that sound? Oh, well, if America is fucking my fiance, I mean, it's America. I was really concerned that Muhammad was gonna fuck my fiance, and I swear to God, if Muhammad fucked my fiance, it would be the end of the world. But hey, if Trump's gonna fuck my fiance, I mean, come on, it's Trump. Who wouldn't want Trump to fuck their fiance? You know what I'm saying? So anyways, yeah, this is this is apparently real. This is apparently real. So yeah, again, we're gonna find out how all this works out. Again, more and more chaos in the global supply chain, more and more chaos for all the businesses trying to figure out what the hell to do. Again, with the oil going out of the supply chain, with the fuel going out of the supply chain. One of the big things to be thinking about, in the United States, we're supposed to be insulated from the disruption, supposedly. That's a bit of horse crap. Again, it's a global market. But anyways, one of the big things to be thinking about, though, is a lot of Southeast Asia is not insulated. They're already getting hammered with fuel prices and all that kind of stuff. And again, in a global environment, you know, trade and products and inputs. Again, you look at my little lab here and think about all the stuff that comes from all the different places, right? So this is my my uplift desk. But think about this, right? The table comes from somewhere, the metal comes from somewhere, the motors, servo motors come from somewhere, the control comes from somewhere, the power. But again, you think about it, well, the power supply is over there. But like even the power supply, like you look at the power supply that drives this, that power supply is probably 200 parts. They come from all different places. And so again, with a lot of this equipment, it's not necessarily that the main assembly plant is not able to do X, Y, or Z. It's that what if a couple components for a device that requires 200 components can no longer be resourced or whatever else? I don't know. That's the world we're in. We're winning. I'm so exhausted. Woo! Trump is right. I am so fucking tired of this shit. I would not call this winning. This is not my definition of winning. So what do you think? What do you think about this? What do you think about after the war in Iran, that Iran now controls the Strait of Hormuz? Not only controls the Strait of Hormuz, but is charging tolls for the Strait of Hormuz. What do you think about Anderson Horowitz saying that this is the year of crypto? You know, he was arguing because of artificial intelligence. You know, again, you can be right on the specifics and be completely incorrect on how we got there. I don't know. What do you think about this fucking disaster? What do you think about America losing yet another war? $200 billion to lose a fucking war. You know, we could have used that $200 billion to build some fucking hospitals and not lose a war. And you know, if we had used $200 billion to build hospitals, you know what people could do? They'd be like, wow, look at those pretty hospitals. Oh my God, we got hospitals. But no, we were spending $200 billion to make holes in ground. Anyways, what are your thoughts? Put them down below. See y'all later.